Joining us now is Morgan Ortagus, former spokesperson over at the State Department during the Trump administration. Hello, Morgan. Good to see you as always. I saw the headline, saw the story, thought this was pretty. I thought this was pretty fascinating, pretty interesting. And we were chatting about it earlier today. You call this poetic justice. Why?
Yeah, well, first of all, these weapons that have been seized, most of it was going from Iran to Yemen, actually all the way back to 2019. And these are things like RPGs, munitions, rifles, anti-tank missiles. So again, in violation of sanctions, Iran was sending these weapons to Yemen, to the Houthis there. These were seized by the United States, and as you pointed out, they've been in the warehouse. Well, what do we also know? 1 year ago, I wrote an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal detailing how Iran was sending suicide drones to Russia. Now, these drones have been used prolifically over the last year of the war, and unfortunately, they have been used, these Iranian-made drones have been used to kill innocent Ukrainian civilians, especially in their cities and populated areas. So the fact that the DoD is now sending weapons that they seized from Iran to the Ukrainians, I said it's poetic justice because we know, of course, that the Iranians are aiding the Russians. The only thing that I think is wrong with all of this is that it's taken us 10 months, a year to do so. We should have given Ukraine these items before the counteroffensive. They've been asking for this stuff for a long time, Blake.
Yeah, so I was looking at a headline from, I believe, April of this year. U.S. announces Ukraine arms package amid concerns of ammunition shortages. We've known of these problems for quite some time, Morgan. We had this stuff in December. They did nothing with it in January, nothing in February, nothing in March, April, May, or June, and now we know that they transferred it out in late July. The timing there doesn't really add up, especially if we know that there's a shortage issue.
So this is sort of variations on a theme as it relates to how the Biden administration has prosecuted this war. Me and others were very critical leading up to the war of Jake Sullivan, the national security advisor, because he made the announcement that the Biden administration would not arm the Ukrainians militarily unless Putin invaded. Now, that's not what we did in the Trump administration. In fact, we did give the Ukrainians lethal aid. And to withhold that aid while you were at the same time sort of doing things that were somewhat of a green light to the Russians, things like stopping the sanctions on the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, letting that move forward, re-upping the New START treaty with the Russians without any negotiations or any concessions whatsoever. And of course, we have some of the famous things that Biden said, well, maybe if it's just a minor incursion, if it's just a minor invasion, whatever that means. So you had all of these things leading up that I think failed at deterrence. And then over the last 20 months, what you see, if you look at every single article, whether it's in the Hill or the New York Times or whatever, the administration will say, well, we're slow walking for XYZ reason. Whatever the issue is that they're slow walking, they do it because they don't want to provoke Putin. Listen, the genie is out of the bottle. Putin has been provoked. He invaded. This war is going on 20 months. Let's stop these half measures that only continue to prolong the war. Give the Ukrainians what they need.
Morgan Ortagus, thanks for joining us. Appreciate the time, as always. See you soon.
Thanks, Blake.
Yep. Before we turn to Elizabeth, Kara, the chaos in the House sort of highlights the sort of concern that Ukraine should have right now about how much U.S. aid is going to be flowing to that country, does it not? Like, we don't know now what's going to happen with funding here in Washington. No Speaker of the House, and what it means for Ukraine going forward.
True, but I think it's been akin to a debacle in the House when it comes to aid and oversight in general for this Ukrainian war. I mean, Morgan was spot on, right? Those who were involved in policy in the Biden camp when he was vice president, now they failed at deterrence. They've been instituting half measures over and over again. So this is all of sort of Biden and his apparatchiks makings. And so I wouldn't put full blame on the House. But when it does come to the House and the Hill in general, we need oversight, frankly, of this. And the American people, I was in the GWAT. I deployed to Afghanistan 3 times. I've said this before, but I hugged my dad on the tarmac of Camp Leatherneck in Afghanistan, 2 generations in the same war. We don't want to see this kind of thing happen. So if we can give them what they need to end this, and there has to be an end game, there has to be a strategy, that's a good thing.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.